Alright, so this is a video about permutations. It's kind of a offset of probability and statistics. Okay, so permutations and combinations, often referred to together, refer to the number of different ways I can arrange a particular set of items, whether it be actual items like videos or movies or books, and then also to like positions, such as if I have a captain or a co-captain of a team, if I have president, vice president, secretary. And permutations is used when order is important, meaning I can't just put them in any order. The order of which I place them is important. Typically, another way we look at permutation is if I cannot repeat the answers. I can't repeat which number I picked from before. Okay, so numbers 1 through 4, those are just simply formulaic. So if you just want to plug in the formula, or if you have a fancy calculator that can do all that, again, that's why I recommend. I don't want to have to go through it. So I'm going to focus more on numbers 5 through 10 here, and we're going to look at the scenarios in which you would use a permutation. Okay, so Kevin Claude Wright rented 3 movies from his local video store. Again, you can see how old this worksheet is. No one does that. But he can't decide in what order to watch them. How many choices does he have? Okay, so when you rent movies, right, you can't say like, oh, if you rent, what are the movies? Twilight, and Twilight 2 and 3, okay? So if you rented all the Twilight films, all 3 of them, you wouldn't say like, oh, I'm going to rent all 3 and just watch the first one over and over again. Typically, you're like, okay, well, I'll watch the first one, then the third one, then the second one. But the order is important, right? How many different ways can you watch those movies? Because you wouldn't want to repeat a movie, so you're not going to repeat your order, okay? So, but how many different ways can I start, okay? Well, that means I have 3 possible choices, right, for my movies. And again, the order is important, so I'm going to make it a permutation. And then I'm going to watch all 3, right? I'm going to watch all 3 movies. Okay? So, a way to think about it, okay, you can write it as the formula, which is, again, n factorial, which is 3 factorial, over 3 minus 3 factorial. Now, before you start freaking out, you're like, wait, that's going to give me 0 on the bottom. 0 factorial actually equals 1. So don't freak out. 0 factorial equals 1. Okay? So now all I have to do is figure out 3 factorial. Well, 3 times 2 times 1 is 6. So that means there's 6 different ways I can watch the movies, or the Twilight movies, if that's what he happened to be watching. Personally, I would watch the original Star Wars films, but that's not important. So anyway, the order is important because you wouldn't want to repeat what you're watching, and so it's 3 permutation 3. You can plug that into a calculator, but I did it the formulaic way, which gives me 6 over 1, or just 6. All right, let's try to look at number 6 here. You have a homework assignment in each of 4 different subjects tonight. And how many different orders can you do the 4 assignments? Okay? And again, great situation. You wouldn't want to redo a homework assignment 4 times in a row, right? You finished it, okay, you're done. You only have 3 assignments left, okay, you finished the 3rd one, okay, so on and so forth. So, I have 4 homework assignments, right? I have 4 classes, 4 homework assignments. And again, it's a permutation because I don't want to repeat myself. I only need to do it once. But I need to do homework in all 4 classes. So, ultimately, it's going to work out to be 4 factorial, which 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 is going to give 24. So there are 24 different ways I can do homework. Okay, number 7, again, a classic way that we use permutations is when I have specific positions that I need to fill, such as, in how many different ways can a president, vice president, and treasurer be elected from a class of 30 students. So the order, or the titles that the students have, is important, and that means the order is important. So, it's 30 students, so I have 30 possible students that can run for these places, but I only have 3 positions. So this would be 30 permutation 3. Again, formulaically, it would be 30 factorial over 30 minus 3 factorial, meaning it would be 30 factorial over 27 factorial. Okay? So you can type it into the calculator, but I'm going to actually type in 30 permutation 3, and I get 24,360. So 24,360 is the answer I get because I have, again, there's specific positions I have to fill, but I have 30 students, so I can only choose 3. So essentially, it'd be 30 times 29 times 28, which gives you 24,360. Okay, so that kind of gives you a short, brief introduction to how permutations work, the formulaic way, as well as typing into a calculator. I'm actually going to go do 8, 9, and 10 in another video. Just wanted to kind of keep this one short and give you a little bit more information.